Hiker Jay here. This week I'm going to be talking about a Casio watch. Now this is a smartwatch. Casio's been around forever. They contacted me, sent me this, asked me if I'd check it out and review it, and I'm really happy to. So I'm excited to share this with you. This is not just a smartwatch, but it's a wilderness watch. So it has full GPS on board, and I'm going to show you how all that works because it's pretty sweet. So of course it does all the smart functions, it does all the active tracking, but it also tracks your wilderness experience with like waypoints and things. I'm amazed, like I remember the days of like GPSs were huge in your hand, but actually this is a full GPS on your wrist that you can set a waypoint to for like a hunting blind or whatever it might be, and you can go directly to it. It actually gives you an arrow and everything. The big thing is this is the F21. They have the F30, F20. This is the F21HR, so it has a heart rate monitor. So this is not just a wilderness GPS on board type of watch. This is also a watch that you could do for fitness tracking because it's got the heart rate on it as well. So you can do it's smartwatch, fully capable of getting all your messages, texts, those types of things, but it also will give you all your active tracking. If this is the first time to my channel, as always, the links to all the products are down below in my description, and if you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. So now before we go out on a hike, I actually just want to take you through some of the apps and the options on the phone itself. Of course, it has an awesome face plate. It has a compass on there. This is altimeter on the top, and then it has how much the battery power has, and then my steps for the day, which is pretty cool to be able to track all that. But beyond that, so I'm filming here, but I got a little deer right here. This is called Deer Island. So there are deer all over the island, and they are always just kind of walking through, making their way through there. Doesn't really care that I'm here filming a video about a watch, but pretty cool place. They've got all these treetop villas. Really great place to come and do some hiking and explore the wilderness. But let's get back to the watch. All right. So on here too, you can go to the left and you can do all the Google functions like you would with any type of a smartwatch. And then if you go down, this is where you can actually set all the different like settings for the watch. And then if you get messages, just like any other smartphone, you stroll up and then you can get them. Oh, King of Random has a new video out. Love that dude. Anyway. All right, so that's kind of the functionality of the watch. Now the cool thing is if you click this top button that says map here, it will actually change to a GPS map. And you can see I've got some hikes marked in here. Now here's the best part of the watch is that it's fully GPS capable. I mean, this is awesome. This is a map here and you can zoom in or you can zoom out, however you want to go with it. You can get all the way out and see as much of the island as you want to. You can mark a waypoint on here as well, so I can mark, and then it'll tell me, do I want to do it as a favorite? Oh, I'll hit OK. So it's really kind of cool. You can mark something like a deer blind and get back to it, or if you had a really cool spot that you were at that you wanted to make sure you could go back to, you can do that. So tons of features with the actual map. Now if you push this button here, it takes you to all the apps that are on it. Now this uses the Wear system with the Google Wear system. So got all kinds of apps here. We got our activity, so you can track your activity. So I think I've got a couple of hikes on here. Activity history. So yeah, so like here's a hike that I did, and you can see how far I ascended, how far I went, and then an actual map of it too, which is pretty cool. And then you just keep going back over to the side and you'll get back to your apps. Location history, I can mark waypoints that I want to go back to. View range, now that's pretty awesome. You could download actual hikes and routes and it could guide you right through it. Fish brain, really like this. I actually going to go down to the harbor and show you how that works if you're into fishing and how effective that is. Keep note, really love it. It works great with my phone. So like these are a lot of, my radar, really love that too, because I think that as you're out hiking and things, you're going to want to see what the radar's like in your area. So here we've got rain to our north, and that is good to know if it's coming through or not. And again, a ton of different apps that you can have. There they are right there checking me out. Oh, gonna go run around back there. They keep going over those logs back and forth each night. So let's get back into what we're doing. So now let's just get into setting up a hike. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log an activity as we hike. I'm going to set a waypoint and we're going to hike to that waypoint. So let's go check it out. So now I am kind of back here in the woods a little bit. And what I want to do is go to a navigation point to a specific destination. And what I want to do is find my way back to the house. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a map here, right? I moved it off already, but I'll need to zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, and I'll be going through this map here. We are somewhere down in, nope, not there, above the harbor here. There we go. There we go. And gonna take it right back to where my place should be. So you see that G now? Now I'll start. What it's gonna be, I'm not very far, but it's gonna say to the right. I can't exactly go there, but we're gonna start moving our way and see if we can find our way back to our site. I have found the road that I need to be on, and this will take me back. But it took me back to my starting point. Now, I'm going on the right line, so as you can see, it is not giving an arrow, but if I turn off, it gets mad at me. And following the arrow back from the woods back there, I end up back here at the villa. So it's kind of nice to be able to set a waypoint and be able to get somewhere by that waypoint. Now, I want to show you how this can work as well when it comes to the water. So let's go on down to the harbor and I'll talk about that. So what I think really separates the Casio ProTech from other watches is this is a true outdoor wilderness type of watch. Of course, it's great for the hikes and routes and those types of things, but it also does the water piece really, really well. It uses an app called Fish Brain that can give you all different things like when it's best to go fishing, high tide, low tide, sunset. I'll show you these in just a minute, but I have a funny story which actually happened in this harbor behind me here in South Carolina. We were kayaking, sea kayaking around the island here, and the tide started going down. Of course, we didn't have something like this that would tell us the tide, so we tried to get into the harbor. It was just like water was going down fast, and we were just booking, right? And it was the coolest thing because shrimp were just jumping over the bow of my kayak, and I was catching them. As you come back here, I was catching the shrimp in my hand and just being like, whoa, whoa, and just scraping bottom to get back into this harbor. So pretty cool story. So it is really important to know when it's going to be high tide, low tide. Let me bring you in close, and I'm just going to show you the features of this app. All right, so now we're back at the home screen here. We're going to tap our apps and we're going to open up Fish Brain. The first thing that comes up is actually the map, and you can zoom in so I can get closer into this harbor and you can see where we're at on the harbor. And if you ever get like kind of messed up and off to the side, you can just hit this zero in and it'll take you right back to your normal spot. Now you have these other two features on the side, which are like fish and then information. So let's go to information first because I think this is pretty sweet. This is where I was talking about. So now you know when your sunset is, you know your wind direction, which is really important if you're out in the water, especially like kayaking. And then you have your high tide and low tide. Right now we're coming up on, it looks like we have 2 hours 20 minutes till high tide, and then we'll go back down to low tide in about 8 hours. At 10:30 will be low tide. So as you can see, that's really helpful information. Now the last piece, which is really cool, is you push on this fish here, and that fish button, what it does is it gives you all the different fish that's the best time to actually fish for them. Red drum, 8 p.m., black tip shark, 8 p.m., so pretty sweet. So as you can see, this is a really useful app, and I like the Fish Brain quite a bit. Now, once you catch fish and things, you can mark them on here as well, and it's just great information that you can have when you're out kayaking or fishing so that you don't get stuck out of harbor or the wind takes you in the wrong direction. This little Casio can do so much. I love that it's full GPS on board. Another cool feature is, say you're out in the woods and you're lost, and yes, battery life's not amazing on these. They're just over a day, but you can go into airplane mode and you still use your compass and all that type of stuff, and it doesn't drain. It's supposed to last for like 20 some days in that mode. Now I've just touched a couple of the things that it's capable of, but when it comes down to it, if you're looking for something that's a smartwatch, that is an active tracker, and also for wilderness, for GPS, as well as water, this would be the way to go. You should check out the Casio ProTech. They have different versions. Now this is the newer version, the F21 heart rate. They have the F30 that's new. This is pretty expensive, but then they have the original F20 that doesn't have a heart rate that's pretty affordable when you check it out on Amazon. I'll link it down below. So hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, if you could hit like, that would be awesome. Till next time, just remember, life's a hike, so hike happy, and get yourself a Casio F21 watch so you know where you're at all the time. You don't want to be lost. Onboard GPS. These things used to be huge when I used to carry them. Pretty awesome. Take care. Called Deer Island, and they are everywhere, and he's quite a sharp looking dude. He's watching me. He wants to walk through here, but I think I am bothering him by just kind of sitting here filming. So we'll get back to filming.